End of the Bougie Era. It was always about imitating the privilege of royals, presumption of divine right, that was changed to the democratic sounding inalienable rights. The instrumentation of those rights were gaining not some democratic independence for all, but some self-serving privilege and influence for oneself and hers and her others. The commercial class, who wanted to be patronized by royalty, are now in the position of being the patrons of governments. The crab in the basket mentality for achieving such influence separates the haves from the have-nots. The 1% of the world are the latter-day royals, and deserving what the 18th century French Revolution extracted upon them. The obstruction for that ends as we have in the populace petite royales and royalists who envision themselves or the idea of a system of the few, by the few, and for the few. The field has become overcrowded with different versions of royalism going in multiple and diverse vector directions. Such a circumstance has undermined any notion of moral or rightful authority being more than the force that can be imposed by coercion on anyone by willing consent. The problem for the many wannabe autocrat tyrants is that force only gets a cold respect of resentment waiting for its own moment. As the late and departed Art Bell noted in his observation of accelerated dystopia, The Quickening, that it was the accelerated movement of dynamics that has created more and greater centrifugal space, also known as populist black holes, who, like their astrophysical progenitors, destroy and undermine the existing order. That dystopian quickening has its roots in individual self-liberation, which has as its aura the charismatic popular magnetism of the individual on the micro level, where the spontaneity of willfulness may manifest. But spontaneity is less an integral part of process and more the fortuity of often foreseen events. Process depends on the methodical organization of data that, short of the incrementality developed modern AI supercomputer program, is itself a tedious and uncharismatic for the populist impulse for an immediate and spontaneous gratification, if not its opposite, the inertial status quo and its fundamentalist regressive interpretation. So, we are left with the autocrats of power, their operatives, and accommodating subordinates, having an inherent contentious friction with the artists of spontaneity, who turn out to be the asymmetric radicals, the systemic dissidents, and insurrectionists of a mostly unrecognized, charismatic, artistic notions of the anonymous iconoclasts.